a humanities PhD useless? Now, I have had several videos go viral. We're talking between 1 million to 4 million views. And in all of those videos, the negative comments, which I'm sad to say are mainly from men in STEM, but the majority of the negative comments are all around how useless they think humanities PhDs are. So let's chat about that. One of the kickbacks I get is that humanities PhDs don't save lives, whereas STEM subjects do, so what's the point? And what I would like to say about that is, whilst we might not necessarily save lives, we are preserving life. That is ultimately the whole point of what I do in my PhD, which is about children's jewellery history. And that means that I am preserving the history of a topic that is relatively unknown. There are no other experts who are solely focusing on this as a topic. Now, of course, then I get eye rolls. Well, there must be a reason for that. But the reason for that is that childhood in general is a relatively new topic to be studying. And that throughout history, the opinion was that children were ignored and they weren't really worth studying. But of course, over the last maybe 30 years, opinions on that has changed. In fact, the study of childhood really only dates back to around the 60s and 70s. And so I am part of a new wave of historians who are focusing on the child as a subject. Now, okay, you might watch this and think, well, I still think it's useless. And of course, you are totally entitled to your own opinion. But one of the things that I'm doing is preserving and discussing the materials, the meanings and the myths of children's jewellery dating back into prehistoric times and looking at how that has affected society and culture as we've gone on and throughout history. What were those objects? Why did we give children jewellery? Why was jewellery associated with children? Why did children wear jewellery? Shall I discuss more?